Howdy, folks. What's going on? How's everybody doing tonight? Let me get everything up and going. I'm running a bit late, and apparently our good friend and co-host Gary has a grievance. Gary, would you like to get that out there right here from the start? Let's just get it out in the open.
Well, I was just talking about Matt's chat he just got over with about a few minutes ago. And one of the movies on the 90s comedy bracket was, according to Matt, Groundhog's Day. And it is not Groundhog's Day, it is Groundhog Day.
Well, there you have it. And he's
Just like
actually
it's not Labor's Day, it's Labor Day. It's not Thanksgiving's Day, it's Thanksgiving Day.
yeah, yeah. Well, you know, people just throw that S around like they don't care. It's an S, man. It's an S. It goes everywhere. That's why it's at the beginning of the word shit. So
Okay.
it wouldn't be shit without the S, would it?
I guess not.
Yeah, okay then. It'd just be hit, and you never hit the shit. So, oh man.
We could throw an extra S in there and call you the Outlaw Hatfield.
No, we won't do that. No, we're going to try to avoid that one. How about that?
I like that one.
Oh, well, I'm sure you did. I didn't. Oh man.
That's it. That's what I'm calling you from now on, Ellis.
Yeah, kiss my ass.
Shatfield.
Where's
Hey,
Midnight?
like it.
Potatoes, ain't
Where's
this the
Midnight
first
Rain
time?
when we need him?
Is this the first time you've been on one of my shows, Potatoes?
No, it's the second or third, but it's been a while.
I was just trying to think back when was the last time he was on? I'll have to look back through my
Probably right around the beginning of this year, I think.
I'll have to
It's been a
go
long
back
while.
and it has been a while. Hey Midnight, how you doing, buddy? Gary, you're out there. The gun snobs out there. Rob D, Zippy. We got 5 watching. Midnight, if you'd like a link, I will try to get you one.
Yeah, we was just talking about you.
No, we was talking about shit. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, we was talking about him, wasn't we? Yeah, that was a good segue. I like that. So here's the thing about Matt's chat tonight. Anybody that knows me knows that I do not do comedies. It's just not my thing. There are exceptions to that rule, of course. I love Jay and Silent Bob. I've watched all of those movies: Clerks, Mallrats, Dogma, and they're all great.
What's the link?
Yeah, I just offered him one.
Oh, yeah, he said sure.
Yeah, well, great. Hold on a minute. I'm having email troubles, so give me a sec.
Come on, get it together, Shatfield.
Kiss my ass, taters, tater tot.
That's
But-
Mr. Tater Tot to you.
But no, I'm just not into comedies. I never have been. I mean, like I said, there are exceptions. Anything by Mel Brooks, I enjoy. And there's a few here and there that I'll watch. I like Adam Sandler, especially his early stuff. The newer stuff he has out, just not nearly as good. But I honestly think he got to run a part 2 of this one, and then put the final 2 head to head and see who comes out on top. So I would have loved to have seen Men in Tights come out number 1 on that list, or at least in the next one. It would be fucking awesome. But anyway, I made a promise 2 days ago, and that promise was tonight we were going to be talking professional wrestling, simply because some smartass said he didn't want to hear it. Well, he's going to hear it.
Hold on, we're talking about what?
Professional wrestling. How much do you know about pro wrestling there, Potatoes?
Wrestling.
Some dudes wearing like spandex and latex and stuff and feeling all on each other and things
You're
of that
talking my
nature.
business now.
Yeah, that's what Midnight's really into that sort of thing. I bet that's what he wears to work.
What's wrong with that?
And until, of course, he has to take a photo or something, then he puts on that nice little white overcoat, little lab coat thingy.
You think I'm a fucking scientist?
No, a mad scientist that works in a
Mhm.
kitchen. Yes.
Possibly.
Are you not working today?
No,
How the hell did you manage that?
we're not open.
You found a day of the year that you're not open. Wow, I'm impressed.
Yeah, how about it?
That's impressive.
Yep.
I wish I could see.
I could see Midnight as a professional wrestler. Yeah.
Fuck that.
He's got the look and the size. How tall are you, Midnight?
The gourmet chef.
Yeah.
I think Ellis is trying to tell you he
killer
wants to
chef.
roll around with
Hailing
spandex.
from
No. I'm being serious.
Hailing from restaurants unknown in the dark continent.
Yeah.
The
He'll
Mad
kill you
Chopper.
with his cooking alone.
The Mad Chopper.
I don't think I've ever seen a wrestling gimmick where they were actually coming out acting like a chef. Now I've seen them come out in scrubs and everything else, but
He
never.
could have the knives in his hand, across his chest like that, looking all tough, looking down.
Do you know what Gizzard's wrestling name is? The Mad Crapper.
The Mad Crapper. Yeah,
It's a tag team. The Mad Crapper and Chatfield.
Kiss my ass. Anyway,
Let's say the Raging Cock.
The Raging Cock.
The Raging Cock.
So angry.
We have already went down a rabbit hole. We ain't even started yet.
Comes out clucking and flapping and scratching at the tarp.
Well,
gives him an atomic.
Docile.
Gives him a heavy chicken wing. Pow.
Let me give
drop.
It's a good point. Gizzard's he's pretty laid back. Probably the docile cock, or
well, now here's your piece
maybe
of
the limp cock.
Here's a piece of wrestling history for you. There was a guy, his name was Terry Taylor, when he wrestled in the NWA in the early mid 80s. He went to the WWF at the time, and they changed his name and they changed his gimmick, and he was the Red Rooster. And that was his gimmick. He'd come to the ring, he'd had these little hair parted in the top and it's standing up a little bit like a rooster's crown. So
it's been
around
done.
the room like a chicken. Have a ring like a chicken.
But
I could see Gizzard doing a big belly flop off the top turnbuckle into somebody and flapping on the way down. That'd be great.
And then he tags his partner, the Outlaw Hatfield, and he comes in there and he throws his sheep hold on somebody or something like that.
Sheep hold. They call it the sheep shank.
Well, Rob, you are absolutely right. It is a fake joke. Everybody knows that wrestling is scripted. That's not a big thing.
It's entertainment. It's not sports. It's entertainment.
Everybody knows this. At least now everybody knows it. 20 years ago, everybody didn't know it. 20 years ago, there were still people out there that thought these people were actually in the ring killing each other.
It's like somebody said one time, every once in a while they do get pissed off and actually hit each other.
Oh yeah, that's happened a lot. I was listening to a podcast a couple weeks ago, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he was talking about somebody hitting him in the middle of a match. I mean, really knocking the shit out of him. And apparently he got pissed off and hit the dude back. So, that happens. A lot of the injuries you see in wrestling, though, you can't fake that. I've seen legs get snapped. I watched a match with Sid Vicious jumping off a top turnbuckle, and as soon as he hit the mat, his leg buckled, and it was like at a 40-degree angle from the rest of his leg. It was horrific, to say the least. Bret Hart broke his sternum in a match one time.
Mankind lost a finger.
Yeah, well, I don't know about a finger, but he had knocked a tooth out, went through the top of his mouth and into his nose. Yeah, lacerated his liver, all in a wrestling match. And that dumb son of a bitch, instead of getting carried out, went back into the ring and finished the match. So you can say that it's fake and you can call it bullshit, but these are some tough sons of bitches. They just tough. That's all you can say about them. I would not want to get into a fight with any of them because if they can take that kind of shit, man, and then they're used to it. You know, these are guys that's getting hit constantly. You know, Ricky Morton made the statement one time that he wished Bill Dundee would, every time they'd wrestle, he wished Bill Dundee would just hit him as hard as he can because his working punches was killing him. You know, so you take it for what it is. Is it scripted? Yes. Do they really get hurt? Oh, absolutely. What was it? 27 chair shots from The Rock to Mankind, split his head wide open. His hands were handcuffed behind his back, so he couldn't get his hands up. And hundreds of stitches to close that shit up. So, scripted, yes. Are these guys pussies? Probably not. You know, you got guys like CM Punk who leave the wrestling business and go to the UFC. Did he do real well? No. But you don't see too many football players jumping out of the NFL and jumping in there. It tells you how tough these guys really are. Hell, they wouldn't even let Goldberg in there, and he tried. So,
Didn't Lyle Alzado wrestle for a while?
I think he made a few appearances in the
I
ring.
think it's more of a show than anything
Yeah.
else, but that's one I could think of that crossed over from the NFL.
What was that guy that used to play for the Carolina Panthers? His last name was Green. I can't remember his first name. But he wrestled a few matches in WCW back in the 90s. Hell, at one point, Dennis Rodman was calling himself a professional wrestler, coming out there with Hulk Hogan. That, ladies and gentlemen, was a joke.
Yeah, that's a little silly.
Of
Of course, it's the same guy that went over and played basketball with Kim Jong-un, too. So,
yeah. What the hell is going on with him, by the way?
I mean, besides just totally being crazy, or
Well, I don't know. Over the last few months, he's done things that just has really shocked the shit out of me. You know, meeting.
we're talking Kim Jong-un. We're not talking about Dennis Rodman here.
Oh no, well no, he's batshit crazy. We all know Dennis Rodman is just insane. I'm talking about Kim. You know, meeting with Donald Trump all of a sudden after all these years, and you know, going over and talking to the South Korean president. Are they fixing to end that shit over there or what?
I don't know. It seems
Well,
weird
listen.
that they'd all of a sudden just give it all up.
Every once in a while, when somebody just won't shut the fuck up for a good long time, sometimes you just got to drop your pants, show them how big your fucking dick is, and make them run away like a little girl. I think that's what happened. I think Trump was like, hey, check this out. And then Kim Jong-un was like, oh, fuck, my country's about to be sunk.
Yeah.
I better play nice. I think that's what happened.
That could very well be what happened. I don't. I think Kim Jong's smart enough to realize he cannot go head to head with the United States. There's just no way.
Well, I think he was counting on the fact that somebody would back him, and the rest of the world pretty much told him, "No, you're on your own on this one, dude."
When you start firing fucking missiles across continents, you know, people get a little upset about that sort of thing. Grant you, they all landed in the middle of nowhere, but that middle of nowhere was just a few hundred miles from Japan. See, that's pushing envelopes that you don't want to be pushing in this day and age.
It seems like each generation has had its overseas political leader who is way too big for his britches. I mean, if it wasn't Gaddafi, it was Saddam Hussein, or that dude was in Iran for a while. Let's see, Ayatollah Khomeini.
I don't know. You're right. It seems like we in the 1930s and 40s it was Hitler. Then it just keeps going on and on and on and on and on. Stalin. You know, there's always that one idiot that shows up and just. Do you know what I forgot to do? And I just realized I forgot to do it.
Put on.
I didn't post a chat over on the Gun Channel side.
Oh, you're screwed.
Well, yeah, I'll hear from it from G-Webs. That's okay.
You're toast. You're toast.
Yeah.
He's probably out there now, just waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, I can do two things at once sometimes. So I'm going to try to fix this problem while I can before the show gets going too far. Hopefully.
Well, Midnight entertains us with a couple verses of bacon pancakes.
That'll work.
Pancakes, make the bacon pancakes. That's right.
That will definitely work. In fact, you can make me some of those. I'm hungry.
Boom,
I'll make you something.
All right, so here's the move, right? You know those Eggo waffles, the new ones that are the thick and fluffy ones? Okay, well, you get those. You get the chocolate ones, and you toast them, and then you put a big old scoop of butter pecan ice cream in between them and eat it like a sandwich.
There you go.
And diabetes never tasted so good, I promise.
Oh, man. That sounds good.
That does sound good. That does sound good.
I don't know where I'm going to get that at 11 o'clock.
How did you come up with that one?
I don't know. Just sounded good.
That's like awesome carnival food.
Yeah.
Butter pecan ice cream is not nasty, Scott.
Who said butter pecan was nasty?
Give him the boot.
Scott P79.
Scott, go fuck yourself. Get out of here. Get out of bullshit.
Man. Somebody just sent me a message somewhere.
Wasn't me.
Huh. And I'll check it in a minute as soon as everything loads up over on Gun Channels. But, no. So what did you do today, Midnight? Did you do any cooking at all?
Not really. I'm actually not feeling real well. My son's just starting to get over a cold. I'm starting to not feel so hot. So I'm just been kind of doing some stuff around the house, you know.
It ain't good, dude.
Yeah, I feel like shit. Kind of as the day went, I just kind of felt worse and worse. I actually wasn't even gonna ask for a link. I was gonna go upstairs and lay down, but I figured I'd get a link and see what's going on. You know, I haven't been on the show in a while.
Go
by the way, Scott.
Real quick.
By the way, Scott, Ben and Jerry is anti-gun.
Hey, let's all talk at once.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that.
Ben and Jerry's is anti-gun. Just
yeah, I don't know. That was something that I asked. Here's a question for everybody. I had asked this in Matt's chat, but he wasn't paying attention to the chat. Is there you know how like the NRA or GOA or whatever, they do their rating system or grading system for politicians? You know, if they're pro-gun and how pro-gun they are, kind of. Has anybody ever seen a website with actors and actresses like that? That would be interesting to have.
No, I have not.
I haven't looked for one. There's probably one out there. I know there's a website for businesses that are posted that you can go to and tell you what businesses are anti-2A and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2acheck.com. I'm not sure if they have actors and actresses, but they got a lot of other stuff.
Pretty much most actors are anti-gun. There's not a whole lot of pro-gun actors out there.
Yeah.
Because if they admit to it, then they get blacklisted in Hollywood. So even if they really were, they're not going to say so because they got careers.
Yeah, it's funny. If you're pro-gun, you have a hard time getting movies. If you're anti-gun, they can put you in a movie with a bunch of guns and shit.
Yeah.
You know.
That's
like they were talking about that Peppermint movie. It's just basically like, you know, I mean, it's the Punisher with a chick, and they were saying how Jennifer Garner is, you know, really anti-gun or whatever. That's about a pro-gun movie as you can get. I mean, the previews. I don't know that there's a preview out there with the scene that doesn't have a gun in it. You know, why the hell would you do that movie, man? It's like Two-Faced, you know.
And even if you do know how to shoot a gun, you probably ought to act like you don't.
Yeah.
You know, I honestly, I've said it for years. I think if you're going to go out in public and say, okay, I don't like guns, I don't think people should own guns, then these same people should not be allowed to make movies with guns in them.
I don't think you should be not allowed to, but I sure as hell think that, you know, if you're that committed to it, then you should turn that goddamn roll down. It's bullshit. It's bullshit.
If these people were that committed to it, then they wouldn't be making movies with their guns.
Number one, a disclaimer that comes right up on the screen as soon as they come up with a gun and say this person is actually anti-gun.
It's you know, I don't dishonest isn't the word for it, but it's just like I said, it's just bullshit, man. You know, if you wanna talk the talk, then turn down that couple $1 million for your, you know, for your cause. Let's see you do that, you know.
Yeah. What's his name? Liam Nielsen or Neeson or whatever.
Nelson, I think.
I've heard the same thing about him. Yeah.
Neeson.
The Para Ordnance has flat out refused to provide any weapons for his movies any longer. And apparently they were the ones that did the first Taken movie and the second one. And they said that they weren't going to do it anymore after he made that anti-gun comment.
Well, they were talking about in Matt's chat, who did Groundhog's Day go up against? And they said that movie was anti-gun. So it was Bill Murray.
Oh yeah, of course.
Bill Murray came out, you know, with 6 months ago and was making a bunch of anti-gun statements too. So
and if you missed the first of the chat, it's Groundhog Day, not Groundhog's Day.
You shut your mouth, Gizzard. I'll smack you.
Come at me, Fried Cook.
You know what?
I'll take out your legs.
There's more than one. I got a chicken gnawing on my ankles. There's a chicken gnawing on my ankles. There's more than one groundhog, so we're going to call it Groundhog's Day.
It's the same groundhog 19 times.
Bullshit. There's backup fills.
You can't prove it.
Yeah.
All groundhogs look alike.
That's racist, first of all. And that's not true. You hear that, everybody? They all look alike. Gizzard said they all look alike.
I don't believe groundhogs are a race. I believe they're actually.
That would be like saying all chickens look alike. Or roosters in Gary's case.
They say once you've seen one cock, you've seen them all. But that ain't true.
The only cock I'm interested in seeing, honestly, is the one in my pants. Thank you. We're going to leave that right there.
You got a chicken in your pants? Oh.
No. Anyway, welcome, Dead Horse. How are you, sir?
Howdy.
How's things going with you? Thank you, by the way, for informing me that I had screwed up.
Yeah, several of us were over on Gun Channels, like waiting for you to start the show. Like, we thought you fell asleep or something. We didn't even know you.
No. The show is actually going, believe it or not. It's just that I completely forgot to set it up over on the Gun Channel side. So that was my failure.
Speaking of taking a nap, is John Z out there in the chat?
I don't know if John's out there or not. Let's see who is out there. Somebody new might have showed up. We have Vosh is out there. Slim is out
John
there.
Earlier this year.
Hey, Too Hottie, how are you, sir? Vanessa Kitty's out there. So yeah, we got
quite
a few watchers
here.
Yeah.
We got 26 people watching this thing.
Well, it happens occasionally.
Half of them even thumbed it up. The rest of them need to.
Yeah, well.
Give this outlaw Hatfield some love, man. He needs loving.
Well.
From humans.
Yes.
All
from humans. Oh.
He needs all your loving.
Got to have all your love.
I need your love. Okay, I'm done. You don't want me singing. You don't want me singing. Anyway, how you doing, Slim?
I'm doing all right, man. How y'all doing?
Pretty good. You've been busy lately, haven't you?
Busy. I'm always busy.
I've seen you put up a few videos. What are you working on now?
Not much of anything at the moment. I'm waiting because I ordered old ammunition, old stripper clips, and a bunch of other stuff, so I can finally shoot this Steyr. But I gotta wait for the ammunition to get here because I had to order it offline, and it's gonna.
You gotta do a video when you do that, because I'd like to see that.
I'm hoping to. I'm pretty much going to take it to the one range, set up a camera, record what happens, and then try and figure out if can make a video, because I don't even know if it's going to function. So it might just be a whole bunch of me having it not function or fire, or it might be a cool video. So I'm going to try to.
Yeah. That will be an interesting little video.
Yep.
What kind of ammunition does it take?
9x23 Steyr.
9x23 Steyr. Now, can you easily reload that?
You can buy just the brass, and I'm assuming it's just you can get a 9mm bullet. I think the ones I bought are 115 grain. And yeah, with the right equipment, I'm assuming you could.
Well, we have an expert in here, Dead Horse.
Oh, expert at what?
Reloading.
No, I'm not an expert.
Where?
So what's the question?
9 by what?
9x23 Steyr.
Okay, and what do we want to know about it? Like, I don't know anything about that.
How easily would it be to get the components to reload for that?
No idea. I have no idea about. I don't know anything about the 9x23. Sorry. I wish I did know something about it, but I don't. I don't know anything about that at all.
Well, see there, our expert is not an expert anymore.
You can ask Midnight. He knows a couple things.
Who's that?
Midnight. He reloads.
Yeah, he's a fry cook, though. Do we really
I don't know nothing about 9x23? Nah, don't know nothing about that.
Do we really want to take Midnight's word for anything? I mean, he is just a fry cook.
Yeah, let me put it this way: when you call every gun shop in a 20-mile radius, and most of them don't even know what it is, and especially when you call like the bigger stores and they don't know what it is, yeah, it's very hard to get components for it. But I think if I really wanted to start reloading it, and I got into reloading, which is on the list of things to do, I think I could do it because they're selling brass for it, and I'm assuming if you can get brass, that you can also get dies for it.
You would think.
Yes.
Surely some forums out there, some people would know some things.
Okay, as far as the...
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Dead Horse.
I was going to say, as far as the dice go, you might want to check for the 9x23 Largo and the 9x23 Winchester. Now, those are completely different cartridges, but the dice might be the exact same dice. It might have the exact same, I'm not sure if it's a completely straight walled case or if it might have a slight tempered, taper to it, like a regular 9mm does. I'm not sure about that one, but it's very possible that like just 9x23 Winchester dies might, sizing die and stuff might work perfect for that. So I'm sure that there's I'm sure there's someone out there who'll be able to tell you.
Yeah, I'm assuming if I wanted to get into it, there would be plenty of information of either people doing it or attempting to do it. It's just first I didn't want to jump into it and be like, okay, I'm going to start, making up these cartridges and jump into reloading, and then to find out that, oh, well, the recoil spring is burned out and this is burned out and parts are non-existent, so there's really no point in getting a bunch of ammo for it.
You've probably checked online for ammo, I'm sure, right? Have you found any?
Oh yes, there's a couple different places that have it. I only wanted to order 2 boxes, and of course, the one place I went to wanted the amount they wanted for shipping was almost as much as the box of ammo, and I'm like, what's with this ammo? The shipping cost? I'm like, it's 1 box of 9mm, and
yeah, I'm finding reports that 38 super dice work for it. So you just buy dice for 38 super, and it works for it. But Lyman also makes a 9x23 specific die. It's not branded for Steyr or Largo or anything. It's just straight up 9x23, and that's supposed to work too for the Steyr. So either 38 super dies or the 9x23 Lyman dies.
I found some you could buy for $34.95 a box.
Yeah, the one I got it off. I think I got it. Who did I buy it from? I think it was Gaft and Son was who I got it from, because there's like 3 people that have it, and 2 of them want like $17-18 to ship, and the one place I got it from it was a flat rate of like $8, so I went with them.
This is ammunitiontogo.com.
Yeah, I looked at them. I think they were the most expensive out of the bunch because I found them first. But yeah, there's not many places that sell it, but you can find it, and it's all made by the same company. It's all what is it? Not Precision Arms. What is it? Precision.
Yeah, it was Precision something. What I saw. Let's see.
Yeah.
Precision cartridge.
Yes, that's it.
PCI.
That's what I ordered. I ordered 100 rounds of that, and with the holiday, of course, it's thrown off the shipping, but I'm hoping to have it by the end of the week, and maybe Saturday I'll go down to the range and see what I can do.
I just hope the thing don't blow up in your face.
I went over it. The before and everything is pretty good. It's in pretty nice shape, so I don't think it's going to blow up. Plus, the 9x23 was never really a insanely powerful cartridge either, so it's not like I'm loading it with a 357 Magnum or something and worrying about it. It's a relatively low pressure cartridge compared to some of the other stuff out there. But if it blows up in my face, it'll be on camera, and that'll be a cool video.
Yeah, that'll get you a lot of subs.
Yeah, I just broke 200 now, so it's like, yeah, that'll really get me.
Yeah, that'll get you up there 2,000, 3,000.
Easily.
This guy got his nose blew off.
Yeah,
You'll be right up there with the guy that shot himself in the leg.
Yeah, that video is.
Dang, is that all it takes?
Yeah. If you want to get YouTube famous, shoot yourself in the leg on cam.
Yeah, that guy.
Tex Grabner.
Yep. I think he still puts out videos, I think, which honestly at that point I think your YouTube career should just kind of be over.
I don't know about all that. I mean, I watched this video the other day of these teenage kids shooting themselves in the mouth.
Oh, I saw that.
And I'm like, what kind of idiot does that?
Actually, that's so like 2 weeks ago. The thing that they're doing now is they're playing Russian roulette, but with their feet. So what they do is they put a bullet in a revolver, spin it, and then point it at their foot and pull the trigger. Then hand it to their friend. Then he spins it and points it at his foot, and they see like who gives up first. Have you seen that video? And the guy's sitting there with one foot already shot, all bandaged up, and he's still playing. After he already shot himself once, he's still playing.
Where are
like,
they getting?
Can't
these
fix
ideas?
stupid.
Yeah, where are they getting these ideas from?
You hit the nail on the head. They're stupid. They're absolutely idiotic.
I wouldn't shoot myself in the foot with a BB gun, for God's sake.
Nope. Well, the new challenge that I heard about that they're doing now is going to your kitchen, turning your stove on, getting the eyes as hot as you can get them, and then sticking your arm to it. What kind of idiot does that?
Wait, they get the what as hot as they can?
The stove eye.
What the hell is a stove eye?
Yeah, I'm lost.
The heating
Stovetop
element.
eye of the stove.
The heating element on like an electric stove, the coil looking thing.
Are you talking about the top, the range top?
Oh,
Yeah.
you're talking about like the burner.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
The burner.
Yeah,
I did that when I was a kid once. Put my hand on one of those. It was a mess.
yeah, and these idiots are doing it on purpose.
Yeah, well, they deserve it.
I don't get. I mean, dude.
well, I know exactly what it is. It's their right of manhood and their passage into manhood, and different people do it differently. So when I was a kid, it was like who takes their bike off the biggest jump, right, and stuff like that. So it's all about based on your environment, right? So like people like these African war tribes, right? They jump off of trees and cliffs with just vines wrapped around their ankles, right? And like who does that, right? But like I mean, so it's just all about their environment that they're in, and so in that environment, in that ghetto environment that they're in, it's like some could say it's almost like a war zone, right? So that's like their, I mean, that's how they show who's like the biggest, toughest dog in the house, who's the bravest.
Biggest, toughest dog. I would replace that phrase with dumbest idiot. But hey.
Well, no, from their perspective. I'm saying not from our from their perspective, they think playing this game like makes them tough and fear. You know what I mean? Like that's
I get it. Yeah, in their mind, they're the two bucks ramming into each other to see who backs down first, basically.
Exactly.
When I was a kid, I did some stupid shit, but I never did anything stupid to purposely hurt myself. Grant you, I ended up in cast more than once, but never on purpose. But,
You say her name was Cass?
A cast, yes. Cast, C-A-S-T. Yeah, it comes from broken bones. I've had many of them.
Never had a cast.
Well, you want to try it sometime. You might enjoy it.
Nah.
I had my arm in a cast. That was not fun.
I had an ankle in a cast. I shattered my ankle in art class. Funny story.
How the hell did you break your ankle in art class? We want to hear
doing
that.
stuff I should not have done. Well, we were running around, and I don't know, some kid pissed me off. I went to go chase him, right? And it was collage day in 6th grade. So there was cut up magazines all over the floor, and all my weight come down on one foot because I'm charging as fast as I can, right? And slipped on a magazine, shattered my ankle. And then I had my hand in a cast one time because I had to have surgery on it, and it needed to be immobilized.
Yeah, been there, done that. I spent a whole summer and part of a fall in a cast. Funny story of that. Yeah, I broke the foot trying to jump over a mud puddle, big one. I landed wrong. When I did, I snapped the foot. Walked on it for 3 or 4 days before I finally went to the hospital. And the only reason I went then was because my mom seen my foot was turning black. So she rushed me to the hospital for that. I wore a cast on my foot for, I guess, 6 weeks. A week after I get the cast off the foot, I was swinging on a grapevine. The damn thing broke, and I broke my arm when I hit the ground. A week and a half after that, I'm riding my bicycle on a wall, which is not the brightest thing in the world to do, I know, but I was a kid and I was showing off in front of some girls. Girls will get you killed, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you now, for all the younger viewers out there, girls will get you hurt and killed. I was riding the bicycle across this little bitty narrow wall. I hit a pebble, the tires jerked, and when the tire jerked, I went over the edge and hit the same arm that I had previously broke about 3 inches before behind the first break, and broke the arm again there. So that led to a surgery, which, kept me in a cast on my arm for about 8.5 weeks, 9 weeks. It was a miserable summer for me. I was a kid that loved to go out and be in the woods and be on the riverbank and fish. You can't do all that when you're in a cast. You can't reel a fishing rod, can't hold a fishing rod. Just annoying as shit. I advise, do not break bones, people. Do not break bones. But anyway, how about you, Midnight? You ever had a broke bone?
No, never broke anything.
Lucky bastard.
Yeah.
How about you, Dead Horse?
Yeah. Yeah, I've broken a collarbone, arm, neck, and toe. Yeah.
You broke your neck?
And I've broken several bones in my hand. Yeah.
Well, I've had many more than those few broke, but I've never broke my neck. How the hell did you break your neck?
Car accident, a drunk driver hit me. I was on the freeway and traffic came to a stop, right? So I stopped, and there was obviously like some accident or something up ahead, for the traffic to come to a stop on a freeway. And it was during morning rush hour traffic on the way to work, And I took off my seatbelt and I leaned down on my passenger floor to grab my laptop off my passenger floor. I was going to pull my laptop out and like start getting some work done on the way to work, right? Like just sitting still. And as I was reaching over to grab my laptop, I got hit by a drunk driver who was coming back from a party the night before, falling asleep at the wheel. He had the cruise control on, set at 75. And he hit me at 75, and he never hit the brakes. Like he never woke up or saw it coming. And then that pushed me into the car in front of me. And so I got a double whammy. But because I was all leaned over at a weird angle, my side of my neck hit the steering wheel. Right? And then the airbag went off. So like I got I got this like double whammy because then I got pushed into the car in front of me. And so I got life flighted. And I don't even remember the helicopter ride at all, like at all. Like I don't remember being life flighted at all. They put me into a coma for like 3 days, a medically induced coma, and then I just woke up in the hospital. And then it took me about 6 months to be able to even walk again.
I crushed a couple fingers at the beginning of this year at work. That was fun.
Before we go any further, guys. There's another promise that I had made that I wanted to keep. Mad Sexy had asked me a couple of nights ago if I could talk about my family background a little bit. And I was born and raised in West Virginia, a little town called, actually, it's not even a town. It's more like a camp. It's called Big Sandy. If you look it up on Google Maps, Um, it'll be between Rhodafield and Davie, but it's actually in the wrong spot on Google Maps. Big Sandy's actually a little camp just south of that marker. Um, there's nothing there, period. There's a old school that's been shut down for, I guess, 40 years, and a post office. That's where I grew up. Um, as far as my family history goes, my father was James Hatfield. My mother was Dorothy Sue McCoy. Now, I know that that's a bit of a shock, a Hatfield married McCoy, but indeed, that's my lineage. Gary here actually sat one night with me on the chat and did some of my family history. He's apparently very good at genealogy and all that sort of thing. So we traced it back. That was the second time I had it done, actually. But we traced my lineage back to Devil Anse Hatfield on my father's side and Randall McCoy on my mother's. They were both uncles of mine. You know, so my family on either side had fought each other in the feud back in the 1800s, and all these years later, mom met dad. I don't know how it happened, where it happened. I know that my grandfathers were not happy about it, either one of them. Um, but I'm the result, and that's the quick narrative on how I came to be. So there you go, man. It's a strange lineage to be sure, but that's me. And if you're wondering about the feud, the feud started over a woman and a pig, and in the end, they both got ate. So there's that. And actually, that's just bullshit. It was basically a disagreement about land and land ownership. And it had been going on long before the big blowout in the feud that everybody knows about. It had been going on for many years before that. It just hadn't got publicized until that point. You know, um, it's an interesting history, and I understand why people like to talk about it, like to hear about it. I've not really done an in-depth study of it because it's never really interested me. I've heard it from my dad's side of the family. I've heard it from my mom's side of the family. And when you grow up around it for so many years, it's just, nah, you get sick of hearing it. And you hear the same stories from both sides, but different points of view. Well, that didn't happen this way. It happened this way. Well, no, that didn't happen that way. It happened this way here. And there's always those disagreements on depending on which side of my family I'm talking to, as to who did what and how it actually came across. So Kevin Costner made the movie several years back, and I've never seen the movie. I've never watched the movie, and never interested me to watch the movie. I'm sure 90% of it's probably fictionalized because, depending on who they were using for sources to relay these stories, other than what's been published, by newspapers or what have you at the time, you get differing stories from different people. And here's something that a lot of people don't know about the Hatfield McCoy feud. There was more families involved than just the Hatfields and McCoys. They had friends and neighbors and relatives that all got wrapped up in this thing too. But because the Hatfield and McCoys were the ones that, were the antagonists in both of these in the feud. They're the ones that got the name, and they're the ones that got famous because of it. But it was more than just two families. It was several families from several different areas, and different things happened to different people. And I could probably piece it all together if I just took the time to do so. I just haven't bothered, to be honest with you. So I don't know how well that answers any questions you might have, but I hope it does something. So there's that. Now where are we at, guys? I think we were talking about guns.
My name is Slim Cowboy, and I like guns.
Do you own any guns? That's the
I
question.
picked up a new gun today.
Well, see, that's something we can discuss. What kind of new gun did you pick up today?
A new 50 cal.
Oh, nice.
No way.
Oh, black powder, right?
Yeah, black powder.
Still very nice.
Muzzle
It's still a
loading.
50 cal. Come on, dude. It's still a 50 cal. I'm just saying.
Well, let's see it. You can show it to us. Don't be shy. We all like seeing new parties.
Oh shit! You want to see it? Okay. It's all now. I'm just gonna say this gun's probably been in like a storage unit or something for 20 years. I'm guessing. Like I don't, because it's just dirty, right? And but I got a hell of a good deal on it. So
Well, we like dirty guns too.
okay, hold on. Let me turn on my camera. And my lights. I had to take down a whole bunch of lights from my ceiling because I'm building my wall. So I had to move a whole bunch of lights and outlets and stuff today. So I don't have that good of lighting in here right now. So let's see here. Turn on the camera. So there it is.
Nice.
It's a CVA Eclipse 50 cal. And it fires from like an open bolt, so it uses a 209 primer. You cock that back, and it looks like the firing pin is built into the bolt. It's not a separate piece. It's like part of the bolt here, and it fires from this open position. So you just put a 209 primer in there, and it's dirty. I mean, I don't know if my camera's picking it up, but it's got like just a layer of dust in everywhere, and the rear sight's a little loose.
A little.
And, yeah. Well, it wobbles this way. The base is loose, and then, I mean, so I don't know if it, I think this is something that's been in storage, and then someone's dad passed away or something, and then they're like, oh, I don't want this evil, scary instrument of death, right? And so I got it for $50. So
Damn.
There you go, man.
yeah. So I'm like, you know what? For $50 to put another deer in the freezer, because I can get on another deer hunt this year with this. So.
Are you going to put an optic on it, or?
It's drilled. It's drilled for scope bases, but I don't know. Most of my deer here is shot at like 100 yards, right? Like that's the average range that we get a deer here is probably like 75 to 100 yards. 150 is kind of stretching it here because most of the time it's in like canyons and stuff like that. So it's it's usually never that long a range. So I don't know if I need a scope for it. And I think with the laws here, if I do put a scope, it still has to be a 1-power scope. It can't be magnified. With our muzzle loader. Yeah, so maybe a red dot or something.
Yeah,
But it has fiber optic sights. It has well, here, watch. I'll just slide it off. But it has fiber optic sights on the front.
Right.
Yeah, and
that's what I was thinking. I mean, your front sight, that rear sight's already loose. Go ahead and put a red dot on there, and that covers you.
Yeah, maybe I'll just take these sights all the way off. We'll see. I don't know what's going to take to fix it. He said it was missing a screw. It looks like to me like all the screws are there. It's just not tightened down. So I don't know. So, it has a tiny little couple, things of rust here and there. Just a couple little specks. The bore looks really good. It was just literally covered in like a layer of dust, and just crap. I mean, It was so dusty. Like it's literally been sitting in somewhere for 20 years and it hasn't been touched. So it really doesn't even look like it's been fired that much. But for $50, yeah, you know, and I can get a whole nother deer, right? And put deer in the freezer and get it on a whole nother hunt and just mess around with black powder stuff. So
Now, I think I'm not sure about South Carolina laws when it comes to black powder hunting, but I know in Georgia they have a specific season for it, and it's early in the season. It's just right before, just after.
yeah, that's the first hunt. Like these are the guys who get the best deers. Like
Yeah.
they're the ones who get the best deers. They
Yeah.
get to go out and hunt first.
But I've never shot a black powder rifle ever. Would love to. One of these days, maybe I'll buy one and give it a go. But it's always been one of those things that I've always wanted to do. I've just never done. And
I messed around with the black powder, the actual black powder, and it was super dirty and messy. And I ended up going with Pyrodex pellets. I actually still have the can here of the 44 cal ones that I was using in the pistols. But I went with these Pyrodex pellets, and they just have a little hole bored through them. And it's like smokeless powder for black powders, right? And you don't got to measure or nothing. It's like just a capsule. And like every capsule is like 30 grains. And so like you don't got to measure like your powder loads or nothing. You just drop these capsules, and I'm going to see if I can do something like this with this 50. That made it so much easier. Yeah.
You have a good night, Mad Sexy, and Too Hottie. Thank you, buddy.
The black powder was just so dirty and nasty to clean. When I Pyrodex it instantly was just so much cleaner and easier and better. I think and it really wasn't that much more money.
If you was going to go out and buy a new black powder rifle, what would you suggest? I mean, anybody.
What are you looking for? Are you looking for something historically accurate, or are you just looking for something you might be able to go hunting with?
Something to go hunting with. I mean, historically accurate would be cool, but
I want to say it's Remington that made a model 700, but it's black powder and it takes 209 primers. I've seen those, and I think those sell for like $400 or $500. And I think I'm going to maybe look at one of those down the road, but that's probably what I'd get. I'd probably go with that Remington.
I used to have I had a Kentucky rifle that was flintlock, and that was 50. Don't know why I sold it, but I ended up selling it, and that was a lot of fun.
Well, Midnight had to bail out on us, ladies and gentlemen. He wasn't feeling well. Midnight, we hope you get better, buddy. You get well, you come back and see us. I hate when one of the guys gets sick.
Yeah, it's never fun.
I had a 54 cal CVA with a big old heavy octagon barrel. I only ever shot it a few times. I got it like stupid cheap from somebody who needed some money real bad. And I think I traded it for something. It was okay, but it wasn't practical for anything. It was way too heavy to hunt with and had really crappy crude sights, and so like it wasn't really useful for anything other than to be like a wall hanger or just something to make a bunch of smoke with.
I've never been lucky enough to come across the deal like that, like like Dead Horse got there. I mean that's a functional, perfectly good gun there. The closest thing I ever got was last summer or the summer before last. I knew this lady that had a 16 gauge double barrel, and some guy had quoted her a $50 price on it. So that's what and if I'd have had the money, I'd have gave her double that because it was worth it. I mean, it was a damn good looking gun. It had a little crack in the stock, nothing that couldn't be repaired real quick. But I just couldn't come up with the money at the time. and I wasn't going to cheat this woman, out of what the gun was worth. I can't do that. So maybe, yeah, I let my self get in front of myself a little bit there. But
I bought a 22 single shot Winchester for $10 at a garage sale once, and then the firing pin was like $8 off of eBay, and that was a functional gun, and it wasn't rusted, and the stock wasn't all crappy. I mean, like it was like a perfectly clean, like safe kept gun or something that had a broken firing pin. I paid $10 for it at a garage sale.
can't beat that.
And I was at I went and picked up an M&P 50 or M&P 22 pistol from a guy from a private sale, and he had a Phoenix Arms HP 22, and he's like, "Oh, I got this 22 here too. If you want that, I'll sell it to you for $40." And I bought that pistol for $40, thinking it was going to be junk. That pistol runs like an absolute top. Like, I mean, no malfunctions, no nothing. It eats every kind of ammo. Like, it's unbelievably accurate for what it is. Like, I can't fault that pistol at all. Like, best 40 gun I ever.
Have any of you guys ever bought a gun from an estate sale?
No, I don't get too many. I'd like to.
I have not.
I have actually thought about that a few times, just going to estate sales just to see what they have. But what I found out is a friend of my sister's does estate sales. That's what she does for a living. And apparently what they do is more expensive items like guns and stuff like that. They don't just put them up in the estate sale. They'll take them, they'll auction them off instead of that way they can get the most for the gun, which makes sense. But I would love to find one that didn't do it like that. Just had, gun as a part of the estate itself at the sale instead of at an auction house. Because that would probably be the best way to get a decent gun for fairly cheap.
That's what I hear.
But I wouldn't know. I've never done it. And most people like us, we take care of our shit. So,
it's definitely possible to trade up on guns too. Like, let's say to invest in a $300 gun, right? And then you end up trading that for a gun that's maybe worth more like $350, and then you trade that for a gun. I mean, you can definitely work your way up the scale without throwing extra money into it. So by the time you're done, that original $300 could very easily turn into something like a $700 gun, and just your time, right?
Yes.
And, that's how I've got my HK USP and some nice guns like that, and and really only be in those guns like $300.
Ooh, I want a USP so bad. That's how I got my PTR 91. I slapped together a super cheap like A3 clone Palmetto State Armory AR and traded it for a PTR 91 that looks like it's never been shot.
Yeah, you traded like a $400 gun for a $1,000 gun.
Yeah, and then another time, I picked up an old police model 38 like Colt that like it was a cool gun and it was functional, but it wasn't really worth anything. It had been refinished and it had different grips on there. It wasn't like original or anything like that. And even when they are original, they're really not worth that much unless they have like a specific kind of grip on there. And even then, like top end is like $700, right? So I paid I think it was $150 for it. I traded that for a Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 38 revolver with a laser on it. And then I traded that for a SIG SP 2022. And then I ended up trading that for an EOTech and $100. So I basically I'm pretty sure it was $150. It might have been $200. But either way, I got like $100 back plus an EOTech by the time it was all said and done.
That ain't bad.
Not at all.
So basically, you paid $100 for an EOTech by the time it's all said and done. Like, that's fucking good.
Yeah, $100 for an EOTech, yeah. and not like one of the old 512s either. It's EXPS. Yeah, the EXPS 2.
Yeah, that's sick, dude. Yeah, and see, I definitely, so there's a key to doing that. You just can't buy any gun because, like, let's say you buy high, you can't sell high, right? So you buy a high point for $100, like chances are you're only selling that high point for $100, right? So it kind of depends on there's desirable guns, and I think kind of everyone knows what that is, and if you can buy low, and then you can always turn around and sell or trade for a higher dollar amount later. That's the smart way to do it, right? And,
I've actually done that several times.
and you don't want to insult anyone on their ad, but don't necessarily, you don't have to offer full asking price on a lot of their stuff either. And don't be afraid to hit someone up and just say, hey, are you, send them a text, like almost everyone does text nowadays. Just send them a text, say, hey, are you down to, think about any kind of trades? Like, are you willing to consider any trades? That's all you got to say. And most of the times they're like, oh, yeah, what do you got? And just send them a text with a couple of things you got and see if they're interested. And if they say no, that the worst that can happen is they say no. I mean, and if you're lucky, like Tater's case, the best that can happen is you trade a $400 gun for $1,000 gun, like.
No joke.
Yeah, I got lucky with that one. The one thing I'll do sometimes is I'll just message them like, hey, I understand you're trying to get X amount of dollars for it. It's worth every bit of that. I don't doubt that. But all I have is this. Will you take that or no? I don't, try not to be disrespectful. Don't be like, hey, I'll give you this for it. Just say, hey, I don't have any more than this. And you never know. Some guy might need the money, or he might have got a good deal for it where he can afford to get rid of it for that. And he just, wants money for another project. So as long as he breaks even, he's cool with it. That kind of stuff happens.
So let's go through the room one time. What's the next 2 guns you guys are each thinking about buying? We'll start with Gary.
The next 2 guns. Gosh, you're presuming I think that far ahead.
Yeah. Well, I do. Yeah.
I've always had an AR in the back of my mind. I don't know. I got to have money to do it, of course. But I'd like to do that. I've also thought about, of course, you're going to turn your nose up at this, but maybe a Glock 17 or something like that.
I did not turn my nose up to it at all. I, think there's better choices, but that's what you want. That's what you get.
I ain't got it yet, but if the prices would ever come down.
You can catch them on sale. I've seen them on sale many places. How about you, Slim? What you got?
Probably, and of course this changes every time I look
Yeah,
at
exactly.
the catalog. Looking to get an AR-9 for in my vehicle, and probably a CZ455 at some point.
Nice. Tatus, what about you?
Oh, there's 3 that really got me right now.
Uh-oh.
CZ75B in stainless.
Good choice.
A Smith & Wesson Model 629.
Nice.
44.
And some sort of MP5 clone. I haven't decided which one yet.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think I'd hold off and see what Palmetto's doing with that thing they're supposed to be working on.
Honestly, I'm not interested in that one Palmetto's coming out with.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, what makes you say that?
I don't know, man. I've held off on buying one so long that because I don't even want the ones that are out that are expensive. I almost want to, there's companies that'll buy parts kits and stuff, and they'll put them together, and they actually have like HK markings and stuff like that. I think I'm going to go that route.
There you go.
Okay. What about you, Dead Horse? Next 2.
I over this Labor Day sale weekend, I ordered my 6.5 Grendel barrel for my 6.5 Grendel build, and I ordered my 5D tactical jig, my 80% milling jig, the mill 80% lowers out on. And so those two are coming. So I have everything for my 6.5 Grendel build. So I'll be building a 6.5 Grendel AR-15, a real nice high-end AR-15 live on gun channels. And then my next gun buy, like actual like purchasing a gun, is hard because I just look for deals, right? I'm a gun collector, so I'm open to like lots of different, and I already have everything I like actually need, right? So I'm just more open to like stuff I want or stuff that looks cool. But it would either be like an over-under shotgun for trap, or the Remington TAC 14, that little short shotgun, or a CZ P09. Like any of those three, I'd be happy with next. So whatever comes up first that I get a good deal on, that's the one I'm going to buy. You know, like that's.
Well, the next two that I'm thinking about purchasing myself is a Ruger 1022. Definitely going to get one of those. I've made my mind up. I've got rounds for it that were given to me, so I need the gun to go with it.
So you're saying Night Strike's finally going to be able to outshoot you because he just bought a Savage 22 that's going to kick your Ruger's ass. So I'm just sorry.
That's fine. You know, it ain't all about the gun, man. You got to be able to.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. I can actually hit what I'm aiming at. Most of the time, anyway. And I want a high cap 45. So I'm really, really leaning toward the FNX. They've got one in a 4-inch that I'm really liking. So it's expensive, but you know, you get what you pay for. And everybody knows me, knows that I don't buy anything straight out. I always put everything on layaway, so that helps mitigate the cost a little up front anyway. But that's my two choices. Guys, we've been going a little over an hour now. I think we can call this one done. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say thank you, if I could ever talk right, to everybody out there that's listening to this show that sat through the last hour and so many minutes listening to this nonsense. We appreciate you. We love you. And we hope to see you back here tomorrow night at 6:30 for my other show. So that's it for me tonight. Slim, you got anything to plug?
Thanks for the invite, and check me out on YouTube, Instagram, and I'm on gun channels as well, putting out reviews and stuff. That's it.
Taters?
Yeah, Tater Tube Live coming up after the Daily Gun Show.
Yeah, I got a message from G-Webs. He's ticked off at me right at the moment because I stole my co-host back from him for a night. So it's okay, G. You can have him back tomorrow.
And DGS, I think just ended just a couple minutes ago. So yeah, Tater Tube, right? That's going to be my shout out tonight. Come over to Tater Tube. Come join in the fun.
He's hollering at me about working his show. Yeah, oh well. Dead horse. What you got, buddy?
I'm just gonna plug Tater's channel and go over to TaterTube, gunchannels.com, subscribe to Potatoes and Lead, and yeah.
And of course, the co-host, Mr. Gary Gizzard. How are you, Gary?
I'm good. Please check out and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out my website at gizzardgary.com. As always, join gun channels. Give it a shot. It's a great place to be, great community. Also, check out guntube.org. It's a great place for gun-related videos where they don't tell us what to do. And as always, like, share, and subscribe to the Outlaw Hatfield. Thanks for the invite. And
thank you for the plug. Of course, I'm not expecting too many shares. Nobody ever shares. I don't understand. They'll like it, they'll subscribe to it, but they won't share it, which is weird. But,
yeah, I think the whole sharing thing, I don't see anybody do that anymore. You're right. I think I've had one of my videos shared
I don't think I've ever had any of my videos shared, which is fine. I mean, most of my content's not worth sharing anyway, unless it's one of the interviews, and I've got a few of those lined up. But until I get dates set up, that's on the burner. But hopefully, we'll get back into that here pretty soon. Um, Guys, I'm planning on starting to do the late night thing again here real shortly. Get the late night outlaw shows going again, so you can expect that in the near future. Remember, I'm over on Patreon if you'd like to subscribe to there. It's the Outlaw Hatfield. It's real simple. That's about it. Tomorrow night, 6:30, I'll be back on. Y'all take care. Have a good one. God bless. And we shall catch you next time.